So in today's video, I want to share with you my a little over 1 month review of the M1 MacBook Air. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Kwame. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today. Sorry I haven't been posting regularly in a while, but you know, I have something exciting happening for our whole family. Fortunately, I can't talk about it right now, but it will impact the channel in a really positive way, and so I can't wait to share that with you all. But as I said in the introduction, today I want to talk to you and share with you my 1 month review, actually a little over 1 month review of the MacBook Air, and I want to share with you all the apps that I'm using. I'm going to share you everything that I'm using on the MacBook Air and how I have it set up. So to get to the bottom line, the MacBook Air is really one of the best computers I've ever used, if not the best computer I've ever used. If that's all you want to hear, done, over, thank you, have a great day. But for the rest of you all, it's really a combination of the iPad Pro and a Chromebook come together, because I'm getting the apps and the creativity workflow that I'm used to on the iPad, but I'm getting like the battery life and full web browsers and everything I would get on the Chromebook. So having one device that does what both of those used to do is really, really amazing, and has really, I don't want to say changed the way I work, but it really has changed the way I work. Like, I can work anywhere without, having to be tied to a desk when I was using just the iMac, or being tied to like a constraint option if you're going iPad only or even Chromebook only. There are constraints with using just one of those services, or trying to use them both together. So there was a point where I was trying to use the iPad for some stuff, the Chromebook for other stuff. But having one device that is super thin and light, so I can travel with it, which we've been doing, and I can use it upstairs, and it's still powerful enough for the type of work that I do, has been amazing. So as I mentioned earlier, we did travel. We went on 2 trips, one on a plane, actually got on a plane, and then the other one was just a weekend up in the mountains. And with both of these trips, I brought the MacBook Air, and it worked great. Like, I had to finish editing a client video. We were out of town, and so I was doing that on here, importing pictures at the end of the night, and just didn't have to worry about battery life. Like, I didn't have to keep it plugged in while I was doing all this stuff. I think I charged it on the first trip once or twice. I think it was twice, actually. We were there for like 5 days, so in 5 days I charged it twice. On the plane I used it for 2 hours and got a whole video edited, and then on the way back I used it for another 2 hours and edited pictures from our trip. And it ran super smooth. The one app that I was going to complain about was the Lightroom. However, like last week or something like that, they actually updated the app, so it's now a native ARM compliant, however you want to say it, app, and it runs so much better, it runs so much smoother. And I'm not talking about Lightroom CC or the online version one. I'm talking about Lightroom Classic, the one that's really big and bloated and super slow. Even though it worked well before this, it runs even better now. Things like cropping and stitching together multiple pictures are super fast. Using Gigapixel AI is super nice. I'm actually going to come out with another video, hopefully this week, where I'm talking about the new Topaz updates to their apps. It's been absolutely amazing. So yeah, this computer is really, really good. Now, the one thing I did have to bring with me on this trip was an adapter like this. This is just a little adapter that you plug into the ports of your Mac, and then it gives you 2 USB-A ports, another USB-C port, and the infamous SD card and micro SD card slots. And you have another USB-C port or Thunderbolt port for charging. This is handy because I can have my hard drive plugged in, SD card plugged in, and I can import pictures straight to the hard drive without having to do like a little dance or take up all the ports, which you only get 2, so I can still charge it, do all that kind of stuff. I would say if you're like a power user or someone who's going to have, you're constantly plugging things in, taking things out, you might just want to leave this plugged in. However, I don't, because I converted my hard drive with the USB-C port, with the little USB-C adapter, sorry, and now I can just keep that plugged in. But yeah, this is a lifesaver. Now, nothing's perfect. The main con, and I've seen this with a lot of people with M1 Max, is the Bluetooth is a little flaky. It works well with this Bluetooth mouse that I have, and it works well with like the Apple keyboard that I use sometimes. But every now and again, my Beats Pros, which are made by Apple, you know, they own Beats now, has an M1 chip in there. It will lose connection or it will do something funky, and the range is not that great. So normally I can leave my iPad or phone in the middle of the house and walk around the entire house, no problem. With this M1, if I walk 10 feet away, it starts to drop. So yeah, Bluetooth isn't the greatest, but other than that, I haven't had any problems with it. So let's look at the software now that I've been using, and I will have a different video. Probably the next video will be on the hardware, like the hardware accessories that I'm using with this computer. But right now we're just going to talk about software and all the apps that I use. So let's start here in the dock, and yes, I have my dock down here in the bottom. I don't know, it works for me. This is a lot of folders on my desktop. I usually don't have this many folders on here, but right now it's a little messy. I'm actually gonna move this one here. But yeah, it's a little messy, and yeah, well, this folder is where this video will go when I'm done. But yeah, it's a little messy. Normally I have a handful of folders on here, but yeah, this is what it looks like right now. So first up we have Chrome, Safari. These two are my two web browser of choice. Messages and FaceTime. I actually do like having messages on here because I can just quickly reply, but usually I keep my MacBook Air in Do Not Disturb, so then I don't see messages on here. FaceTime if I want to do FaceTime calls, but I really don't use FaceTime all that much. Lightroom Classic, use it all the time. That's where my pictures are, the hub of my pictures. Apple Photos, I do use this quite a bit because I take pictures and a ton of 4K video with my iPhone. I have the iPhone 7 Plus, still works great. Video is pretty good, actually really good. So yeah, I still use Photos. So if I want to drag pictures on and off of the into Photos, I use it there. I use that, but then I also back up all my finished pictures of the year into Photos. I have a different video of how that all works, but yeah, I use Photos quite a bit. Final Cut Pro, this is where I'm editing all these videos in now. I've been really trying to get better at Final Cut Pro. I love LumaFusion, it is great, but my iPad with the lightning port, it takes forever to import pictures. If you have one of the newer iPads with a USB-C port, it's gonna run, importing is gonna be much faster, and so I would probably use it more if I had a newer iPad. But right now I'm using Final Cut Pro and I'm really liking it. It's I like mixing it up because it gives me something new to learn, and yeah, I'm liking this one so far. QuickTime, I actually use it quite a bit. I'm using it right now to record the screen. And then calendar, notes I use quite all the time. Apple Music, I am an Apple Music subscriber. The App Store, I don't usually go in here much, but when I do, that's when I need to download a new app or do updates. The App Store. System preferences, just because I like having it there. And then Parallels Desktop. This is interesting because Parallels Desktop gives me an ARM-based version of Windows that's running in emulation, and it works pretty well. It does just work. I think it's like $79 for Parallels, which I paid for. But if I ever need to do something in Windows, which isn't often, but if you are in accounting and there's software that only runs better on Windows, this might be an option. And then come into here, we'll look at these. Craft, this is like a note-taking app. It's like a digital brain. I haven't used it much. This is on my list for this summer to really dive into and learn, because I got to get better with ideas that I have for the show, ideas I have in life, and other things. It'd be great to have one spot where I know everything goes into, and I can start linking things together. AdBlock Pro. This one here, this NTFS for Mac, this is actually pretty cool. I have old hard drives that were Windows formatted. This just makes it so they automatically get mounted on the desktop. Carbon Copy Cloner, this is a lifesaver. This is how I back up all my pictures from one hard drive to another. It's something everyone should use. Topaz Labs, Denoise, Sharpen AI, Gigapixel AI. Love these products all the time. Wave Central is a plugin for GarageBand. However, it doesn't work on the M1, so I haven't used it yet. Clean My Mac X. This is something I use quite a bit, and I have a special free offer from these guys for one lucky winner. Zoom, of course. I do have LumaFusion on here. However, I've used it once, and it just didn't work as well as I thought it would. And plus, I've been using Final Cut, so I haven't used it much on here. I think I used it, like I said, I used it once. I will probably uninstall it because I think it works better, or at least for my brain, it works better on the iPad. But yeah, I do have it on here, and you could use it if you need it. Pixelmator Pro, like playing around with that. These next two, these next two, Affinity Designer and Affinity Publisher, I have not touched. I like supporting indie software. It was like $25 for each one of these, and so I decided just to go for it. Support the software designer. They also have Affinity Photo, which I think is really good. It's an alternative to Photoshop, and I'm thinking about downloading it also because I'm trying to detach myself from Adobe. The problem is Lightroom and Photoshop, there are things in there that no one else is doing, or at least not within the same program. And also Lightroom is where all my pictures are, and I haven't found anything that lets me catalog my pictures like Lightroom does. And I've been a Lightroom user since day one, so for me it would be, I could switch, but it would have to be an easy migration with the same folder structure and all that kind of good stuff. I did skipped over this one here, Jettison. This is just an easy, I think it's like a $5 app that just lets you, with one click of a button, eject all your hard drives from your Mac. If you try to just unplug a hard drive, it will throw up a warning flag and it gets all upset. So this just ejects them for you. TunnelBear, this is a VPN that I use all the time. Not all the time, but from out and about, like these 2 trips, I use TunnelBear. That was great. Adobe Photoshop 2021. I use it every now and again. Testing out a couple new things in here, but I'm not a big Photoshop user. I normally do everything in Lightroom, and now with Topaz plugins, I'll use those to kind of finish them off. But yeah, everything's in Lightroom. Downy 4, this is how you can download YouTube videos offline. If you want to download like a 4K video or a training video or something like that, it's a really good app. I use it all the time to download like live music, so if there's like a live concert and it's a really good copy of it, I will use it to download it. Day One for journaling, and Overcast for the podcast. Now I did want to get back to Clean My Mac because this is one app that I've used on all my Macs, from my Mac Mini, back before my kid was born, so like 2006 I think, up till now. I've used this just to help keep my Macs running clean. However, with the M1 Macs, they're pretty good and pretty efficient, but the one thing that Clean My Mac does, or 2 things that they do that I still pay them for, is this uninstaller. So I can go through and uninstall. What's really nice about the uninstaller is that I can come in here and uninstall any of these programs, and it uninstalls everything. So it uninstalls any little digital like remnants that they try to leave, in case you re-download it. It uninstalls everything, so I like that. And then the lens space, or the space lens, sorry, this lets me see what's taking up space on my computer. And this was really handy because I looked at, I installed this after not having it on for a few days, and I looked at it and I was like, what? I was literally using 1 terabyte of storage already within like less than a week of having the Mac. I was trying to figure out what was going on. Well, I found out that Final Cut was importing, I was not just copying the footage, like the video, from where it was, but it was importing it to its own folders and making a duplicate copy. And then the cache files are really big, so I had several projects that were over like 300 gigabytes each, taking up space just from the cache files. So I was able to delete those, get rid of it, and save up all that space again. And so you can see here already, I can drill down and see what's taking space here on the desktop, videos in progress, and you can see here all these videos that are in this Team Spirit video that I'm working on for a client is 177 gigabytes of storage. But that's really because of but it's really because of this Final Cut Pro package, which is 150 gigabytes, which is not really 150 gigabytes. It's probably more like 10 or 12, because I think all the footage together was no more than 18 gigabytes. So yeah, go figure. So yeah, I really love Clean My Mac X. Again, I've been using it forever, and they are hooking one person up with a free copy of Clean My Mac X, a free license. You can be anywhere in the world. There's no restrictions on this one. All you have to do is leave a comment down below. I will pick a person at random, and I will message you privately and send you the code, and it will work. It's really good. The only thing you have to have is a Mac. If you don't have a Mac, this code won't work. So thank you to Clean My Mac X for that. Again, they're not sponsoring this. They just, I asked them, I said, hey, I love you guys' products. I just reached 1,000 subscribers. I would love to do a giveaway, and they were cool. They said, yeah, they sent me a code. So thank you for supporting small businesses, like small indie channels and businesses like myself. So please head on over to their website if you haven't checked them out before. Check them out. They have some other cool products too. So after 1 month, I am absolutely loving this MacBook Air. I have no regrets with this machine. The only regret I have is I didn't pick it up earlier. This has been quite amazing, and again, one of the best computers, if not the best computer I've ever used. For people who watch this channel, people who are like me, who take pictures, shoot video, and are documenting their lives. You're not trying to do like 8K raw Canon ProRes video editing. This machine is more than enough. Like, this machine is more than enough for me for at least the next 4 or 5 years easily. I don't see a program that I use currently that will tax this to the point where it's time to upgrade anytime soon. Again, it's not the perfect machine, but it is really good for what it does. So just to remind you, I got the 16 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage model. It is the top of the line model. The reason why I got this model is I just wanted the most headroom that I could get. Again, I had budgeted to buy a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I believe that machine was going to cost like $4,500 the way that I wanted it spec'd out. This was significantly cheaper, and I feel like is a better product for me. Thank you as always for watching this video. I will have links down below to where you can pick up machines like this. You don't have to get the most spec'd out one. You could even get like the entry level or the one right up from that, and it will be perfectly fine. And get yourself external storage. Again, I will have another video talking about how I use external storage and all that good stuff. But for now, thank you as always for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye bye.